Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to your very own Byju's 6th, 7th and 8th grade channel. I'm your teacher Aishwarya and I welcome you to this amazing class today where we are going to be looking at the second chapter in geography, which is Inside Our Earth. And of course today we are going to cover one very important topic, that is layers of the earth. So I hope all of you are excited for today's class and I hope that my audio, my video and my screen and what I'm writing on the screen is visible to all of you. If it is, please do give me a quick thumbs up in the chat to let me know that we are good to go. And I request that my size on the screen becomes bigger so that the students are able to see me a little better. Yes, good evening everybody. Good evening to all the students who are here live on this chat. And I can see that a lot of students who must be watching this video much later. I hope all of you are excited. Now I can see that a lot of new subscribers are here. So I welcome all of you as well. Of course, I remember everybody. I remember all of you. So today in our class, as you all know, we will cover this very small topic, which is layers of the earth. And let me tell you that when we talk about layers of the earth, right, it is a magnificent thing. How many of you out there, when you think about Earth, when you think about space, and when you think about how the world and the solar system was formed, it's very exciting to know, right? And the funny thing is that, I would not say funny thing, but the most interesting thing is that we've just scratched the surface, right? We just started learning more and more. So I hope all of you are excited. Yes? So very quickly, once again, I hope that my audio, my video and my screen is visible. Are you all able to see me, hear me clearly? Yes? This video will be about 30 minutes. I will not take longer. It's a very small and simple topic. And mind you, I will be doing only an introduction today, right? I'm not going to go into the greater details of it, as in the sense we will go into the details. But of course, mainly in the sense that when it comes to learning extra information, yes? How many of you want to know more and more about this particular topic? You will have to let me know in the comments where I will be doing another video, yes? Okay, good evening to all my students. I have a small request if we can make the comment size bigger as well. A little more bigger. Okay, so now of course in the chapter Inside Our Earth, two very important topics that are there are the Earth's interior and the second topic is rocks and minerals, right? So these are the two very important topics. But today in my class, I will mainly be covering only this particular aspect. And I do understand that many students here are very new to the channel and I have new subscribers. So to all my new subscribers, I welcome you and I request all of you to take a quick screenshot of the timetable. As you all know, every day at 7 p.m. between Monday to Wednesday, you will have social science class as well as math class at 7 p.m. And of course, between Thursday to Friday, you will have level up sessions across grades, right? It's not going to be just for 6th or 7th or 8th, but it will be across 6th to 8th grade, yes? Now, I have a few requests for a lot of students who have joined. Yes, as we know, we are going to be covering this topic. I have a few things, right? Because you're new to my class, I will tell you a few things, okay? First and foremost, please make sure you have your textbooks with you. And please make sure you have a pencil with you as well because that will help you study. Yes? Secondly, when I take class, sometimes I might not address your live chat because I am teaching. Yes? I will be teaching all of you. Now, if I'm teaching and suddenly if I'm talking to all of you in between, it's going to get a little difficult. So when I'm teaching and in case if I don't take your name, please don't mind. It's only because I am teaching all of you and I need all of you to listen to me as well. That is important. Okay? Do we all agree? Now I understand that some of you will have lots of doubts. So I will take doubts in between. But I request all the live students especially to avoid using terms like, ma'am, you are ignoring me. Ma'am, you don't care about me. Ma'am, you know, ma'am, you are doing this, that. I request you to not say that, not because I don't love you. I love you all immensely. But I also want to finish it in half an hour. No, otherwise I can go on and on for 2-3 hours with one topic or talking to all of you. But our time is also precious to us. Yes? So I request all of you to please make sure that you please understand this. Yes, I will be doing doubt board, so do not worry about all of that. So are we excited for today? Yes, are we all excited for today's class? If you are, quick Josh level check and let's get started. So there will be no Menti quiz today, so don't worry about it. And history will be started very soon, so don't worry about that as well. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, very good, all of you. Very good. I can see that a lot of you are here. A lot of you are excited. So let's get started. Yes, we'll do poll questions also. Don't worry. Okay, I don't have poll questions on my slide, but I'll give you questions. Why not? Yes? Okay. So today we are going to be talking about Earth, right? And we're talking about Earth and Earth's interior. But we always say that Earth is our home. Let's forget about solar system, let's forget about universe, let's just forget about everything, yes? But now let's just talk about Earth. And when we talk about Earth, what do we say? We say that Earth is our home, right? And when I say Earth is my home, what is that we refer to? We talk about our surroundings, yes? And in the previous chapter, we have learned about our environment, which is our surroundings. And here we know that it has water, there is air, there is, land, and then we have living organisms, yes? So we see all of these things. And let's take 1 minute to appreciate how beautiful Earth is, right? I mean, if all of you wanted to go visit this place, you will be running and you will be going, right? But if you think about it, this is what you see on the surface, right? This is what we find on the surface. But if I were to maybe drill a hole, right? You imagine we drill a hole from the surface and we go deep inside. We see something like this, right? So if I actually take my Earth, right? Imagine Earth is like a ball, a tennis ball, or a basketball, right? Imagine any ball around you, and I cut it into half. You see that it's going to look something like this on the inside, right? Now, what you see on the surface versus what you see on the inside. I want you to take 1 minute to appreciate how beautiful it is. Because when we study, we always keep studying the theory of it. We don't really appreciate the beauty about it. And that is why I need all of you to make sure that you all focus on this and don't focus on anything else, right? So now the question is, all of you know, when I tell what is the Earth's interior, all of you are going to give me the same answer. But the real question is, how is it that we found this mystery in the first place, right? So very quickly, what is the knowledge that we know today? When I talk about the Earth's interior, right? If I ask you, what are the 3 layers or what are the 3 things that make up the Earth's interior? What will all of you tell me very quickly? Yes? This is something that we've been learning from 5th standard, right? Simple, easy questions. If I ask you, what is it that the Earth's interior is made up of? Very good, exactly, right? You will tell me, ma'am, the Earth has crust, then the Earth has another layer which is called mantle, and the Earth has something else which is called as the core. These are the 3 layers and this is the Earth's interior. This is the answer. Now, technically, if you think about it, if I just tell you these 3 things and the characteristics of it, my class is over. But in BYJU'S, we don't learn this way, no? We don't want to just learn by saying that, yeah, this is it, this is it, this is it, and let's go forward. No, we don't learn like that. We need to learn it like a story, yes? Now, you think about it, today we are all able to sit and discuss that based on what they are made of, right? So basically, based on its chemical composition, we are able to say that it is made up of crust, it is made up of mantle, and it has core. But earlier in the days, way back, if I were to go many years ago, do you think everybody knew this? Everybody knew that crust, core, mantle was always there? No, right? As a matter of fact, if I go back, way back when the Greek philosophers were there and they were just discovering and talking, many people had many theories about what the Earth was made up of. And the reason being that many people didn't know, right? If you don't know something, you will keep speculating. Oh, it could be this. Oh, it could be that. You know how we always talk about, right? If there's a universe that we have not visited to, what will we say? Oh, maybe in that universe that is there. Or maybe in this universe this could be there. You think about it. You have your own ideas. You make speculations. So earlier way back in the early civilizations and way back during that time, people thought that, first of all, they didn't even know that the Earth had a spherical shape, right? They didn't even know what was the shape of the Earth. But eventually, Greek philosophers began to speculate. That means they started getting this feeling that the Earth was in fact round, right? And it was a spherical structure. And by then they realized that it was made up of various components as well. And they realized that there were various minerals that the Earth was made up of. So first, back then, they started getting that idea. Then after that, what happened? Many ideologies came along, right? Many conflicts. So many people had so many opinions. They thought, no, you are wrong. Then they're like, no, you are wrong. So a lot of conflict, a lot of ideas, a lot of debates. But one turning point which I'd like to call is on Edmund Halley. right? So what Edmund Halley did was he actually said that, you know what? He was first to sort of put this idea, okay? This was around 16th, maybe 17th century, right? What did he say? He said that Earth is like a shell. So how many of you would have seen a groundnut? You would have seen groundnuts, or you would have seen, walnuts, right? So when you take a walnut, what will happen? If you cut it, inside it will be hollow, right? And you will find the nut there. So he suggested that this could be, Earth might be hollow, right? Earth could be hollow. And he said that, there was an inner sphere. So you can think about it like a walnut or a groundnut. So he said that inside there is a sphere and there is some air space between them. That is what he suggested, right? Now see, these are all ideologies. People are thinking. They don't know what it is, but they are making logical reasons and they are thinking, right? Exactly, Shailya. Yes, exactly. So many people felt that way also. Now, over time, right? Over time, now I'm talking 16th and 17th century. Now, a lot of technological developments also started happening. Now, post this, right, I would say post the 17th century, 18th century, lot of technological developments. There was a lot of development in the field of geography. People started to learn more. Mining, I want you to focus on this, right? Mining became a very important activity. How many of you know what is mining? We all know what is mining, no? Can you tell me what is mining? We keep hearing this word. But what do you all understand by the word mining? Yes? Can you tell me? Thank you, Poonam. Thank you so much. Yes, we all know, right? Yes. Very good. Yes, exactly. Not some game, okay? Some of you are telling me the game ka name. Exactly. So mining is basically digging, right? So you dig and you extract minerals from the earth's surface. So we know that is what is mining. But over time, we also saw that with development, with mining, lot of technological developments, we realized that our earth is made up of many, many things. Lot of minerals, lot of metals, and lot of climate. The conditions inside the earth's surface is quite different. And which is what is making things, quite possible, right? So over time, with development in mining, study of volcanic eruptions and patterns, which again we will study later, but even understanding with seismographic waves, right? Or I would say earthquake waves, yes? So we know what an earthquake is, right? And when the waves that are there, they developed a technique where they would use these sound waves, right? So they would use these sound waves which had the ability to pass through it. So I would say that they generate these sound waves, they'd be able to pass through it, and at one point it would come back, and based on that we are able to sort of understand where exactly is what, right? So these are called, simply for all of you, earthquake waves, right? So this is what happens. Now in this case, they realized that, with the help of these earthquake waves or with the earthquake study, they were able to understand that the earth has 3 layers. So today, if somebody asks you, how is it that we know today that there are 3 layers or there are 3 regions in the earth's interior? Do we all know what to say now? We know how we get the answer, right? Do we all know this? Okay. Yes. Lots of love to all of you as well. Mukta, pay attention in class. Very good, Nandini. Very good. Exactly. I just asked you about mining, not Minecraft, right? Very simple and easy. So see, when I tell you that there are, what do you say? When I say that there are earthquake waves, right? Think about it very simply. Now the thing is, they have these structures, okay? So what involves is that they have a machine or they'll have a structure which will emit waves, right? And at some point it has the ability, and these waves are not like your normal sound waves. They are like different kinds of sound waves, which has the ability to pass through the different layers, right? And as it goes through different regions, it slows down. And based on that, they are able to monitor, right? So you don't need to go too much into the details of it. I will definitely explain it as well, right? Yes, exactly. Very good. So these are the 3 layers that are going to be there, right? Okay, very good, very good. Those are Ramesh Rangoli. Yes, of course, that is also there. But for that, we also have the tectonic movements and everything, right? Okay. So now, of course, see, land breeze, sea breeze, night breeze. I mean, that I will explain, but that's going to be very far from what we're learning today. Yes? So we'll quickly move on to learning about the 3 regions which are there, right? Don't worry, Rishu, even if it is not there, just learn it. It's very simple. It's not too complicated, right? In 15 minutes, we will be able to wind it out. Now, quickly moving on, we have crust, we have mantle, and we have core. Yes? Easy peasy. Now, some of you will ask me, ma'am, I have also heard something called as lithosphere, asthenosphere, then I've heard about some other names. How many of you have heard of those names also? See, I'm not saying that it's there in the textbook, but because that is extra information, I know you will ask me, ma'am, we have heard about this also, right? How many of you have heard about it? Because you should not come and tell me, ma'am, aapne to nahi padhaya. Yes, we have heard about these names also. So let me tell you, the Earth's layers are categorized. Now your crust, mantle, earth, right? This is based on the chemical composition of them. So what are they made up of? Based on that, we say crust, mantle, and earth. But we also know that different layers of the earth have different mechanical properties, right? Now, what do I mean by mechanical properties? Very, very fancy word. It's very easy. Basically, it is with respect to what kind of rocks they are made, what kind of rocks are there, what is the, what kind of rocks and rock strength is there, and about, what is the elasticity of the components and all of that. You don't need to know that, is too much in detail. But roughly, this is what it is, right? Difference between chemical properties and in mechanical properties, right? So, these are the two main differences. Now, based on chemical composition, you have crust, mantle, and core. But based on mechanical properties, you have lithosphere, asthenosphere, so on and so forth, right? Yes. So now, we will quickly move on to learning about crust, mantle, and core, okay? So let's start with the Earth's crust, yes? Now, the Earth's crust is the uppermost, right? We see that it is the uppermost layer of the Earth's surface. And it is the thinnest, right? So we see that it is the thinnest amongst all the layers. So if I compare mantle and core and then I compare it to crust, crust is very thin, right? Just about 35 kilometers, no more than that, yes? And crust is where we live, exactly, right? Now, of course, when we talk about the crust, on the crust is the surface, right? And here we see, I've gotten a zoomed in version. What do we find on this? We do not only find, we find land masses, we find ocean masses, right? Which is why we see that there are two kinds of crust. Yes? We all know this, no? We see that on the crust, which is the outermost and thinnest layer which is there, we will find your land and we find water. Easy peasy. All of you are with me. So we find land. This is my land. This is my water, right? Are you all with me? Exactly. So now this is of course a part of it. Now your lands are basically continents, right? So as you all know, land is basically what is there. They are basically your continent. We can say that, no? So I will say that instead of calling it land, I will call it continent. Okay? Now if I say continent, now you have continent and you have water. And they are part of the crust. That means you have two kinds where you have continental crust, right? So in this case, we see that we have continental crust and we have oceanic crust, right? So we see that there are two kinds of crusts, or I would say that the crust is of two kinds, yes? So in this case, we see that we have continental crust and oceanic crust. Now for students who are still confused, yes? Now how many of you are clear? How many of you are clear with whatever I have taught so far? Yes. Are we all clear? Or anybody still has a doubt? Yes. So we see that how some of you are like, ma'am, how to find out if earthquake is going to come, right? See, earthquake is measured in different ways. So we will be able to detect that. I am clear. Ma'am, explain once again. Palak, what is it that you want to explain? All right. So I will explain crust once again. Now, think about it in these three ways. You have the earth, right? So we see that this is my earth, okay? This is my earth. Now you imagine you have just kept three papers one after the other, right? So now you see that you have a thin layer which is going to be there. I'm going to draw only on one side, okay? You have one thin layer. Now this thin layer that I am highlighting, right? We see that this is only, now from where I am standing, if I dig till the end of this thin layer, I will see that that distance is going to be only 35 kilometers. And this is one of the thinnest layers which are there. Yes, think of it like an onion. How you'll peel onion layer by layer. No, it's like that. Yes. Now this right here is the crust. Now the crust, if you see on the surface, what do we have on the surface of the earth? Surface of the earth where you have land. On the surface of the earth you have water or the oceans. And at the end of the day, we all see that it is part of it, right? We see that it is all part of your surface, which is the crust. Which is why we just say that whatever land mass or the continents that are there, we give it an extra name saying continental crust, and we call it as, for the water, we call it as oceanic crust. Yes? Are we all clear now? Yes or no? Are we all clear? Give me a quick thumbs up in the chat to let me know. Yes? Very good. Yeah, temperature wise, crust is of course quite different, right? And crust just takes up 1%. Exactly. Very good. Very good. Okay. See now, I will do this once again later. Don't worry, right? Now, very important thing to remember, I told you, right? Crust, mantle, core is all based on the chemicals which are there. Yes? So, they are all based on the chemical composition, right? Now, at the end of the day, that means that the chemicals I will find are going to be different. Now, what is this continental crust made up of, right? So, now the continental masses that are there. So, I'll write this down. Continental crust, we see that mainly, let me write it in the side. What is it made up of? We see that it has something called as silica and it has alumina in it. Yes? Which is why what am I going to get? If I take the C and Al from this, I will get Cl, right? So we call this as Cl because your continental crust is made up of silica plus alumina. Okay? Important thing. Now I have my oceanic crust. Now my oceanic crust which is there, right? My oceanic crust that is there is not having that much alumina, but it has magnesium, right? Which is why we see that this has silica plus it has magnesium. Yes? Which is why I will call this as SEMA. Okay? So what is your oceanic crust made up of? SEMA. What is your continental crust made up of? Cl. Yes? Okay. Priyanka, I can see your comment, but I want you to tell me, right, what is it that you are not able to understand? Are we all clear? See, now you need to pay attention to when I am teaching. That is why in the beginning of the class only I told you, right? Silicon and aluminium. See, silicon and aluminium is different from silica and alumina. Composition wise, they are different, which is why I need you to pay attention. Okay? Yes. Siddiqui, please tell me your doubt. I think I have answered your doubt only. Arav, okay. Ma'am, is air part of crust? No. Air is not, because see, air is what? Air is a blanket which is surrounding your earth. Okay, it is not part of the crust per se, right? It is surrounding, so it is a domain of its own. Yes? Okay. What is it? What doubt do you have in this particular part? Let me check on my phone because I think some of the chats are running very fast. Ma'am, what is molten? Molten means it has melted, right? So when I say that it is molten lava or when you say that it is a molten composition, that means it has melted, right? Okay. Smash Vlogs, tell me what is your doubt. Please let me know. Yes. Ma'am, can you explain about silica and alumina? And is aluminium mean aluminium? Also about Cl and SEMA. Ramesh, see, it's not very complicated. First and foremost, alumina and aluminium are not the same. Okay, they're slightly different. Composition wise, they are different. So let's stick to alumina. Otherwise, they would have called it aluminium only. No. But it is alumina. Now, secondly, you have continent. Okay. You have continent. Continent is land, right? Now you have continental crust, which is here. Okay. Now you have continental crust. Okay. Now next up, you have your oceans, right? So I'm just roughly drawing. This is not proper. You have your ocean. And here we have our oceanic crust. Yes? Now here, if you look at land and water, the crust that is there is of course quite different, right? So quite different in terms of how they are. And if you see during formation, of course we know that the chemical composition is going to be different, right? So when in the case of chemical composition that is there, we see that this right here, yes, your oceans, think about it, has silica and it has magnesium. Yes? While on the other hand, this right here, okay, this has silica and it has alumina. Okay? It has alumina, which is why this is called as Cl and this right here is called as Cima. Yes? Okay. Now, Neeraj, I will not be taking it right now. I will be taking that particular topic later. I request you to kindly stop spamming, right? Ma'am, land, water, okay. Now, Reet, I request you to ask me those questions towards the end. Smash vlogs, I have explained. Ma'am, does lithosphere come first or crust? Very good question, Fire Demon. I will explain this to you in just some time, okay? मैम बुक में नहीं, बुक में तो एलुमिना ही लिखा है, ठीक है. संजना, मैम, हाउ अर्थ इंटीरियर डिस्कवर? आई जस्ट एक्सप्लेन्ड इन द बिगिनिंग. आई जस्ट एक्सप्लेन्ड. अलका बच्चा, टेल मी व्हाट इज योर डाउट. यू आर सेइंग लिसन लिसन बट आई एम नॉट एबल टू सी, राइट? मैम, ओशन के नीचे तो लैंड है एंड लैंड एंड ओशन का कॉम्पोजिशन डिफरेंट हो गया. अमित, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन. दिस इज व्हाट हैपेंड ड्यूरिंग द फॉर्मेशन, राइट? सी, at the end of the day, if you think about it, when you drill the ocean floor and when you drill, say, a continental floor, you think about it, you get different things, right? So during formation, of course, there have been a lot of changes that have happened. Yes? Munni, you can ask me your doubt once again. All right. So let's move on to the next one. Sanjana, I have answered your doubt. Now moving on. Now for remaining people who are confused, please go back and watch the part that I have explained once again. Yes? Metamorphic rocks, igneous, everything in a separate class altogether. Yes? Now let's move on as a quick revision. I told you in the case of Earth's crust, it is very thin and it's only about 4 to maybe 35 kilometers approximately. But here there's given a range, of course. Yes? And we see that the composition is Cl and Cima. Easy peasy. Yes? How is chemical difference? This is only chemical difference. And I will teach you moving on. Fire demons, I will teach you that part when I do the next topic. Okay? About the difference. Okay? Now let's move on to the second topic, right? The second topic that is there is the Earth's mantle, right? Now, of course, we see that the Earth's mantle that is there is the second layer, okay? So we have Earth's crust, we have already had a look. Now we have Earth's mantle. Now mantle that is there actually makes up 84% of the volume. 84% of the Earth's volume is filled with your mantle. Okay, and we see that your Earth's crust was very solid, right? When we spoke about it, very hardened and it is solid. But from now on, when we move to the mantle and the core, we see that things are going to slightly change, okay? They're no longer solid in nature, but rather they kind of have like a viscous kind of fluid, right? So we see that it is quite viscous. Now here we have two types of mantle, okay? So here we see that it extends up to a depth of 2,900 kilometers. That means if I start from where the mantle begins and where the mantle ends, we see that it extends 2,900 kilometers below the crust. That's how much it is, right? So deep. Now, of course, from here, we see that there are two regions of the mantle, right? So we see that there is a upper mantle and there is a lower mantle. Now see, upper mantle is closer. Okay, we see that upper mantle is closer to your crust, while your lower mantle is closer to your core. Okay, so that is what we understand by this. Now, mainly if you look at the chemical composition of the mantle, it's made up of different kinds of minerals which are there. We find various different kinds of elements as well. I'm not going to go too much into the details of it. But one thing you need to understand is that your crust along with your upper mantle, right? What does this form? Crust along with your upper mantle. Can you tell me what does this form? We studied this in the previous chapter, right? We have studied this in the previous chapter. Your crust along with the upper mantle forms what we understand as, yes, lithosphere. So, Fire Gamer, you were asking me, ma'am, what is the difference between the crust and the upper mantle, the lithosphere? Lithosphere is a domain which includes a part of the upper mantle along with your crust, while your crust mainly includes the hard rocky part, right? So that is one thing that you need to understand. Yes? Okay. So now of course from this we understand that, mainly, right, when you talk about the upper mantle, that is where we have various different kinds of elements. We have silica, we have magnesium, we have lots of different kinds of composition that was there, right? So as we all know, we have lower mantle and upper mantle. It is very thick, making up good, like dense amount, or makes a bulk of the volume, and of course it's up to 2,900 kilometers, right? So which comes first? I will tell you that, right? See, it's not like something is coming first and second. First and foremost, I've established this. When you say lithosphere, asthenosphere and all of that, that is a different kind of categorization, right? So it is kind of like if I were to say broadly, students can be classified in different ways, right? Students can be classified as boys and girls. Yes, I can divide a group of students as boys and girls. I can divide students based on age. Yeah, I can say that there are different students in different age groups. Then I can say that there are different students coming from different areas, right? I can classify and distinguish in different ways. But yes, roll number is one more way. I can differentiate students based on roll number. So lithosphere versus crust and mantle is very different. Okay, understand that. That is one thing you need to know. Yes? Are we all clear? I hope we are clear. Now we will move on to the last part, which is the core, right? We are going to move on to the Earth's core. Now, of course, this right here is a very beautiful one, right? So when I talk about the core, right, we know that, see, first of all, when it comes to the lower mantle itself, our understanding of it becomes very less. But as we move deeper into it, right, as we move deeper into the core, we see that it's very inside. That's what forms the base of the earth, right? It's the inside, innermost part. But here also in the core, we see that there is an outer core and we see that it is an inner core. Yes? And we see that the core alone has a radius of 3,500 kilometers. Now, interestingly, we see that the core is mainly made up of nickel and iron. And they are metals and they exist in the molten form or the melted form. And we see that the temperature here is very high. Very high temperature, pressure, keeping it in that way so that at the end of the day we are able to get the kind of core that is there, right? So this right here is what we call as Ni. What is Ni? Ni here is nickel and iron. And we see that the inner core, the temperature is so high that's almost 4,000, 5,000 degrees Celsius. You imagine keeping a place which is 4,000, 5,000 degrees Celsius. Yes, almost 6,000, sorry. Almost, yes, exactly. Around 5,800 degrees Celsius, right? So this right here is how our core is kept. Very hot. Yes? So now, of course, as we all know, that is where our core is at. And we see that because the temperature is so high, this iron and nickel and all is not like iron, you've seen iron rod, no. Now you imagine iron as a fluid, viscous-like thing which is floating along with your nickel. That's what we understand and that's what forms our core. And this is very important, yes, because we know that this kind of thing that is there is also responsible for creating the kind of, magnetic field that is there. Yes? So that is what we understand by it. Mama, core is very hot, but we don't feel it because it's got the kind of system that is built, right? So that is why we are not able to feel that. Very good. Exactly. Very good. Why is the core hot? The core has to be hot, or the reason why the core is hot and kept at high temperature and pressure is because of what the composition is. Nickel and iron, right? So in the initial formation itself, we see that, of course, Earth did not have the kind of, when the Earth was formed, the Earth was not formed as it is. It's not like manufacturing a car where you put all the parts together and there you go, you have a car. Earth was not formed like that, no. Billions of years ago, we saw that various different particles came together. And this, of course, is the theory. It's not like it's full and final. Of course, a lot of research is going into it. But particles collided. There was like a supernova. And then we know that there's a lot of high pressure involved. And it was a step-by-step process which led to the formation of the Earth, right? It took quite some time. Which is why we see that the structure of the Earth that we have right now is because of this. Yes? So what do we have? Two parts, inner core, outer core. We see that's made up of nickel and ferrous and it's about 3,000 odd kilometers. Yes? Ferrous is nothing but iron. It is the chemical name. Okay? Very good. Scientific name or the chemical name. History of Earth. See, earlier in the days, people thought that the Earth, they didn't even know the shape of the Earth. Okay? But then what happened? The Greek philosophers came and they're like, hey, we think that it's round and I think that it's made up of minerals. Then post that, there were various scientists who got very enthusiastic, and then some of them suggested that the Earth is a hollow sphere which just has a, inner core and there's a lot of air space. Now, people did not buy that, of course. There was a lot of debate which happened later. They were like, hey, it could be this, it could be that. So, they had a lot of debate. And then after that, with the rise in technology, we saw that mining and other technological advances came. A lot of importance was given to geologists also at that point. So they were able to do a lot of research. And finally, they arrived at the point that there were two kinds, right? You could divide the inner layers based on its chemical composition, or you could divide it based on their mechanical properties. Yes? Okay. Ma'am, what percentage of the core does the earth cover? What percentage of the earth? So I would say about 20-25%, right? Because if you see, 84% of it is covered by your mantle, followed by just a very thin portion. So the remaining 15% is almost covered, right? Okay. Ma'am, core earth bound. Ma'am, what is core mantle boundary? Core mantle boundary, see, I think you're talking about between the two mantles, because between the two mantles, right, between outer mantle and upper mantle and lower mantle, between upper mantle and lower mantle, we see that there is a transition zone. Yes, we find a transition zone that kind of transitions into the lower mantle. Yes. Okay, ma'am, aap sample paper batan. Oh, okay. No, bacha. I mean, I'm not officially in CBSE, so I may not, but I have a good idea of how to make it, right? Yes. Who discovered this? Ma'am, please clear my doubt. I did clear your doubt. Yes? Okay, now let me have students. I hope you are enjoying this class. If you did, right? If you all enjoyed this particular class, hit the like button very quickly. And Vipin Kumar, very good question. Is it that only Earth has all these layers, or do other planets have it? As a matter of fact, other planets have it also. How many of you want to know about the other planets? Yes? How many of you want to learn more about the structure and the details of other planets? Let me know in the comments of this video. I will help them out, right? Yes, I can see many of you are excited to learn about the other planets. Definitely, we will do it in the next class, okay? Now, many doubts. Ma'am, can machine go below mantle? So far, not yet, right? We're doing a lot of studies because, see, still now, even about the lower mantle, we don't have a lot of understanding. We're still trying to study about the core. Yes? Ma'am, when is the class for rocks? Next week or maybe the week after that, okay? Ma'am, some houses have underground wells which are made to increase use of water. Can you tell me in which layer water can be found? Yes, it is in the earth's crust. Bhumika, it is in the earth's crust. What is mantle made up of? Different kind of, ma'am, okay. That is a little higher level question, okay, but I'll tell you. See, you have your aluminium basically, right? What happens is that your aluminium comes from something called as a ore. Ore is nothing but a mixture of different minerals, okay? Different elements and structures that are there. Now, what happens is that it's from something called as bauxite. Now, this bauxite needs to undergo we have to do some processing so that we get alumina. From alumina is where you get aluminium, okay? So, basically, alumina is an intermediate between aluminium and this one, yes? Ma'am, have humans reached mining till mantle, not till lower mantle, okay? Ma'am, sun has only one core, you let me know, yes? Seismography is basically the study that is there, right? So, seismography, understanding earthquakes, how to go about it, that's what it is, yes? Ma'am, how do we know about the Earth's core if we have never reached there? Very good question. So see, what lot of studies that we do is based on hypothesis, it's based on understanding, using a lot of technology. And again, like I said, based on this earthquake study, we are able to understand that, okay, this is what it is made of, right? Yes. Okay, Mukta, Bacha, you have to give me your answer properly. I'm not able to see your questions. I will make video summaries and quizzes on this chapter. I will actually see, like I told you, this is just an introductory class. Let me stress on this, okay? I know all of you had a lot of questions, which is why I decided that this particular class, I will do it as an introductory class. How many of you want me to go into the details of this? Yes? See, because as per your textbook and as per NCERT, we have only so much. But I want all of you to tell me how many of you want to actually go into the details of it, which might not be there in your textbook. Okay? Then you should not come and tell me, ma'am, ये तो textbook पे नहीं है, आप तो क्यों पढ़ा रहे हो? Yes, we should not be like that. No, if you want it in detail, let me know in the comments, because I will do an in-depth video for your understanding where I'll go into the technicalities of it. Right now, as per NCERT, as per everybody, we just need to know some basics. So today was just learning about the basics. Don't get worried if you feel like, "Arey ma'am, I have so many questions, but you are not able to answer me," right? I will definitely help you out. But here today, I'm just here to tell you with the basics of it. Yes? Okay. Core is made up of nickel and iron. Yes, it is made up of nickel and iron. Earthquake forms, Janvi, that's a very huge, it's a very simple process, but basically multiple reasons are there. Yes? How did we measure? We measured it using the help of seismographic waves that are there, right? Or the sound waves. Yes? All right. Okay. So now, of course, I promised all of you I am going to finish off soon and in half an hour, but my class has gone up to 45 minutes already. So now, everybody, I'm going to do one last topic to make sure that you have a good understanding, which is on the structure of the earth, right? Now, again, like I said, on one side, I told you that structure of the earth can be based on chemical composition, right? So here we know that you have crust, you have mantle, and you have core. Yes? So we know that the thickness of the crust varies, and it's mainly made up of silica, aluminium, magnesium. Your mantle mainly has a lot of silicates, a lot of other components which are there. And then you have a core mantle boundary which is present at this point. We also have a boundary or a transition zone which is present in between two mantles. Then you have the core which mainly has iron and nickel. While on the other side, because of the mechanical properties, we can categorize it as lithosphere, which again is made up of a rigid crust and a part of your upper mantle. Understand, it's a part of your upper mantle. Followed by which you see that you have an asthenosphere. Asthenosphere is nothing but a portion again, right? It's a portion which is part of your mantle, which has a lot of molten, deformed fluid, okay? Then, of course, you have lower mantle, then you have an outer core, and you have an inner core. Yes? Easy peasy. Today is just about the basics. Please don't get stressed. I know a lot of you have questions. I will definitely help you out, right? And I will share this particular PDF with all of you as well. So here's a quick question. Yes, a lot of you here I know have doubts, which is why here's a quick question for all of you, where this is the question that you are asking me, but I'm going to ask you this question back again. What is the main difference between the Earth's crust and the Earth's core based on its chemical composition? Now see students, if I give you the answer for everything, then I might stop you from thinking about what could be the answer, right? So I will tell you the answer, but I also need you to give me the answer for this particular question, because this can come for 2 marks, this can come for 3 marks as well, right? So this right here is important. Bhumika, as a matter of fact, no. Not all planets have that. And I will tell you, right? I will tell you about the other planets also. We'll do a separate video on that. But with the students, I will have to wind up, because as you all know, Byju's 6 to 8 has got you covered. And truly, did you enjoy today's class? Yes? Did you all get a basic introduction, basic idea about what are the Earth's interior? I know that a lot of you students have a lot of questions and doubts, but see, I'm only saying that as an introduction, right? As an understanding, did you enjoy today's class? Because if you did, let me know in the comments. Now, I know a lot of you have questions for which I know that I'm running short of time, which is why I request all of you to let me know in the comments below whatever doubts you have, because I will definitely answer it from my account. I will be answering it, so don't worry, right? I know that a lot of you have doubts and you feel like, "Arey ma'am, aap to doubts nahi answer kar rahe ho." But at any point, if you have doubts, please let me know in the comments below. I will help you out. Yes, that's my promise to you. And of course, everybody, if you still have doubts, right? I do understand that a lot of you here have doubts. And in case if you've not understood any part, go read the textbook once. Yes? read the textbook, and then come back and watch again. Yes, sometimes maybe at one go you didn't understand, but 2-3 times when you listen to it, you will be able to understand, right? So everybody do this once and let me know, and I hope that all of you enjoyed today's class because I surely did. Hoping to see you very, very soon again, everybody. Bye bye and have a nice day.